Alright, this is my demonstration video for my final assignment in CSCB58. I decided to make a game called Grasshopper. It is essentially doodle jump. So you navigate through the start menu just using AD and the enter key. Press space to jump, press AD to move. Red makes platforms long, that's one of the pickup effects. Blue makes you jump higher, another pickup effect. Don't fall too far down. It's the fail condition. If you fall too far relatively from where you were before, you will just end the game. So let me start the game then. So this entire game is randomly generated, so there will be times where you can access these pickup effects, and sometimes you're just unlucky and you won't be able to. As you can see, I spawn on a platform to start with, and I am tracked with it as they move left and right, up and down. I have a single jump. Well, that was a little dumb of me, but that demonstrates falling too far and failing the game. Oh, that one looks like something actually achievable. So this is, I'll show off one jump and then two jumps first before I do that. So one jump and then two jumps. Now depending on how you use your double jumps is how effective they'll be. If you spam them, then you can get them to work effectively together. If not, then you will just fail. Alright, that's another good position. So this is one that is supposed to make your jumps higher. This game is difficult, so I did add a debug option that you can change within the code in order to give yourself more jumps. I will show that later after a good couple of real attempts. Okay, yeah. So you can see that as I go higher, it will generate platforms above me, and they will continue to spawn as I get higher. So this makes the platforms longer. It is not just a visual thing. They also physically are larger and will move further. It was a little quick, but in the top you can see a little power bar that shows how long your effect is lasting. I can demonstrate it again right here. So as long as that has length in it, I will have my power up. So let's get that blue power up now so I can show that off. So this gives me a double jump, or not a double jump, an increased jump. So just one jump is now much larger. And you'll notice that you cannot pick up other effects while you have an active effect, so they don't stack. Alright, I fell again. So I feel like this is a good time to show where you can make it a little easier for your testing. So right here, I have how many mid-air jumps you can essentially have. So the default is 1. You can jump once and then once again. But let's say I make this like 5, then we'll see that the game becomes a little easier if you don't panic, at least. Okay. Not like that, apparently, but there you go. And so as you go higher and higher, it will also start clearing the platforms below you in order to save space, as it uses just one array, and it loops through that array a couple of times in order to store all of the new platforms. So there are some strange interactions in between multiple platforms if they overlap, which is not really anything I could actively deal with. This is something that I was hoping I could fix with the platform generation, but there is a lot of work involved behind that in order to make sure that it's something playable, and I had to focus on making the game a little bit more playable before I introduced stuff like that. Alright. This game is quite difficult, as you can see. Alrighty, and so as you go higher and higher, if your pickup effect, because there's only one within the world at a time, is too far down below you, then it will respawn if it ends up being below your minimum height, so you still have a chance to get it. I'm not going to try to get that because it doesn't really benefit me, but alright. And so you can see that yellow line right there. That is what you need to pass in order to win. It is quite difficult if you leave it on the default space. So, what I've done here isn't really too impressive. If I jump by it, you get the win screen. Congratulations, you won. Press P to restart, press Q to exit. Alright, so I will restart the game actually just to show off the double jumping again. So right now I have it set to 5, so 1, 2, 3, you can see you do jump. And so depending on when you use these jumps is how effective they'll be. As if you use it at the bottom of your jump, then you'll probably jump further up. But if you use it at the apex, then it'll only boost you a couple of pixels. Yeah. Now one of the restrictions that I have was the fact that it's not an actual infinite scroller. And that has to do with how the platforms are stored internally. I use a single forward integer to store every single platform. So the first 8 bits are its x position, 8 bits are y position. The next 8 bits are for its offset x and y. It's just 4 and 4. And then the last bit is just a couple of flags to dictate what direction it's moving, what type it is, its length, so on and so forth. And because of this, I accidentally imposed a soft limit of 256 into the height of these platforms. This is something that I somehow managed to miss up until 2 days before this assignment was due, and it's very foundational, meaning that it's not something I can very easily fix and change, as that would require a rewrite of basically the entire screen offset system and whatnot. So I instead decided to implement a win condition once you do get high enough. The game is difficult though, so it's not like it's a soft limit. It's not some place you can easily get to unless you enable the debug options and give yourself extra jumps, but that's how it works. One last thing, you can press P to restart you can press P to restart at any time. So yeah, let me fall off the edge here, press Q to exit, and you'll see that I've exited. This is my final B58 project, and I hope you guys like it.